Some people say the drive along I-90 in South Dakota is boring, but we disagree.
We like the wide open spaces, but beyond that, there's a lot to see and do along I-90. We're going to show you our favorite spots to stop.
First stop, Wall Drugs, Wall, South Dakota.
It's unlikely that the tiny town of Wall, South Dakota would even exist today if it were not for the drugstore that bears its name. Thanks to the iconic road signs plastered on every highway around for 650 miles from Minnesota to Montana, Wall Drug has become a landmark in American tourism. It all started with offers of free ice water. Slapped on the signs, that did it. Today, Wall Drug still offers free ice water, and on a good summer's day, up to 20,000 tourists stop by. The free water was also followed by coffee for 5 cents, another tradition that continues through today. Next came tourist trinkets, jewelry, holiday decorations, souvenirs, and more, all crammed into a 76,000 square foot store that also has a bakery, a restaurant, and of course an ice cream soda bar. Out behind the main Wall Drug is a sort of mini amusement park for the kids, featuring another Wall Drug original, the giant jackalope, a mythical combination of a jackrabbit and antelope. A bustling town now lines both sides of the street around Wall Drug, and there is lots of free parking with plenty of room for RVs of all sizes. It really is a must visit.
Stop 2, one exit further east, the Badlands National Park.
The Badlands is just a few miles south of I-90, and it brings a sudden and very dramatic change from the flat green prairie surrounding it. Layered rock formations, steep canyons, and towering spires make for a stunning and beautiful landscape that seems almost otherworldly. The Badlands Loop Road is a winding 2-lane paved drive that almost any RV can easily handle. There are frequent scenic turnouts and hiking trails, and you're almost certain to see lots of wildlife, bison, prairie dogs, and bighorn sheep. The park itself is 244,000 acres in size. You can spend a week here. There's a National Park Service campground that's almost always filled, a KOA that you'll need reservations for, and some great boondocking spots just north of the main entrance. But you can also see plenty in a visit as short as 2 or 3 hours. The park is open year-round. But 2 notes, it gets very hot here in the summer, so wear a hat and take plenty of water, and watch out for these guys, the prairie rattler. They're all over the place in the Badlands.
Stop 3 at exit 170, the 1880 town.
The 1880 town is right off I-90. It has more than 30 buildings from the 1880s that are authentically furnished with thousands of relics from the era. For Mike and me, it was, well, almost magical, as if we were instantly transported back to the wild, wild west. What do you think? Do I make a nice dance hall girl? I can't figure out whether Mike is a marshal or a gunslinger. They have a full range of costumes there, and you too can dress like they did back in the 1880s, from boots to hats to a gun belt. The saloon has a real bartender. They sell root beer and soft drinks, not the hard stuff. When the player piano isn't doing its thing, they have live entertainment during the peak summer season. Uh-oh. It looks like Mike has fallen in with a table full of disreputable characters playing cards. Come on now, Mike. Give it up. It's time to go. Outside, it's a lot of fun, wandering the main street and touring the old buildings. There's a church, a museum with lots of props from the Dancing with Wolves movie, a railway station, and a frontier cabin where you can get an idea what life was like way back then, right down to hanging out the wash.
My mom used to hang the clothes outside.
Plan on 2 hours to take it all in. You'll be glad you stopped.
Number 4 at exit 260, Al's Oasis.
Al's Oasis really is an oasis, nestled along a wide spot of the Missouri River. In a way, it's a less touristy version of Wall Drug, a place to take a break and get refreshed after long hours on the interstate. And like Wall Drug, it offers coffee for 5 cents a cup, but unlike Wall, Al's has an RV park right next door. And like an oasis, it's a great spot to stop for a meal, to restock groceries, to shop, to treat yourself.
Whatever you do at Al's Oasis, make sure you save room for a piece of their signature lemon cream cheese pie.
Founded by a German immigrant after the railroad crossed the Missouri there, Al's 10,000 square foot restaurant serves 350,000 people a year. It's become a traditional resting spot for tourists as the unofficial gateway to the West and the last outpost of civilization for many long, tedious miles in either direction on I-90. No trip to or from the West is complete without a stop at Al's.
Stop number 5. For those of you who have read the Little House on the Prairie's books or watched the TV series, we are in DESMET, South Dakota at the Ingalls Homestead. This is the real house on the prairie, the place where writer Laura Ingalls Wilder lived with Ma and Pa and drew inspiration for her series of books about a young girl growing up on the frontier. The family moved here in 1879, homesteading on these 157 acres of prairie. There are restored buildings and replicas of other mainstays in Laura's life out here on the prairie. There's a one-room schoolhouse, barns, and outbuildings, complete with rambunctious kittens. At one end of the property is a dugout house and shanty, typical of the other homes Laura lived in and wrote about as her family followed pioneer routes further west from their homestead. Mike and I, when we were driving out west, we took turns reading the Little House on the Prairie books out loud to each other, and it gave us such an appreciation for what the pioneers went through, how tough it was way back then, out in this beautiful, beautiful prairie. DESMET is a 40-minute or so drive from I-90, but it's well worth it. It takes you deep into rural South Dakota, past prairie lands little changed from Laura's day. During the brutal winter of 1880-81, Laura and her family lived in this house in the tiny town of DESMET, as Pa built the homestead house a mile away. Today, the homestead is open for tours and has lots of hands-on activities for kids, aimed at teaching them about the pioneer life on the prairie. There are several RV camping spots and covered wagon shelters that can be booked for overnight stays. Put the homestead on your bucket list. It's a terrific experience. So the next time you're traveling I-90, remember there's plenty to see.
You'll enjoy all the stops we just showed you and more. Just look around. Hey, if you like this video, please click like. Also, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to our RV Lifestyle channel. We're Mike and Jennifer Wendland. Thanks for watching.